Hi students, good evening. Today I'm going to give a presentation on graphs in data structures. Okay, let me share the PPT and I'll explain you one by one concept. Today we'll discuss fourth unit graphs topic. In that we'll cover graph implementation methods and graph traversal methods. First we'll see what are graphs. Okay, graph is a non-linear data structure which contains nodes and edges. Okay, or it can be defined as a collection of nodes as well as edges, and a graph G. A graph is represented by G and it has vertices and edges, right? So graph is represented as G is equals to V comma E, where E is a set of vertices and E is a set of edges. Let's now discuss a small example how a graph will look like. Okay. See, for example, if we take 5 vertices and 6 edges in our graph, then a graph can be defined as a G is equals to V comma E, where vertices, V stands for vertices and E stands for edges. Yes or no? Then in our example, what are the vertices here? A, B, C, D, E. And coming to edges, we have A, B, A, C, A, D, B, D, B, C, D, B, E, and ED, because we have the connection between the vertex A and B. That is called an edge. So here the vertices are A, B, C, D, E, and we have the connection between two vertices. Yes or no? That is nothing but a edge. So here the edges are A to B. That is A comma B, and here we have a vertex from A to C. That is called a edge. Next C to D, A to D, B to D, C D, D E. All these are called as edges. Okay. Next, we'll see the graph terminology. We have n number of terminologies in our graphs. We'll see one by one. First one is vertex. Vertex is individual data element of a graph. That is nothing but vertex. It is called as node. Next, edge. And what is an edge? Edge is nothing but a connection between the two vertices. Edge. It is also defined as arc. An edge can be represented both as starting vertex as well as ending vertex. Next, we have three types of edges. First one is undirected edge, second one is directed edge, and the third one is weighted edge. What is undirected edge? An undirected edge is a bidirectional edge. If there is an undirected edge between vertices A and B, then edge B, A comma B is equal to edge B comma A. What is directed edge? A directed edge is an undirectional edge. If there is a directed edge between vertices A and B, then edge A comma B is not equal to edge B comma A, because we are mentioning the direction. Means the edge A to B will give one direction, but B to A, we don't have any direction. That is directed edge. Next, weighted edge. The weighted edge is the edge with value. We'll mention the value here. That is why it is called as, we are mentioning the weights. That is why it is called as weighted edge. Next, all these are terminologies: adjacent, incident, outgoing edge, incoming edge, degree, in degree, out degree, parallel edges or multiple edges, self loop, simple graph, path, end vertices or end points, origin, destination. All these are the terminologies of edges. Before going into all these terminologies, we'll see what are the types of graphs. Okay, we have 4 types of graphs. One is weighted graph, unweighted graph, directed graph, and undirected graph. We'll see one by one. What is undirected graph? Undirected graph is nothing but a graph with only undirected edges is said to be an undirected graph. I'll explain you one by one the definition, and I'll explain you with examples so that you can understand easily. Next, directed graph. A graph with only directed edges is said to be directed graph. Next, weighted graph. Graphs whose edges or paths have values. Means if we mention the values, then it is known as weighted graph. All the values seen associated with the edges are called weights. Those costs are called as weights. Next, unweighted graph, where there is no value or weight associated with that edge, that is known as unweighted graph. Mixed graph is nothing but a graph with both undirected and directed edges is said to be a mixed graph. Here we'll see the different types of graphs with an example. See, this is the type of graphs. Here in the left side, we are showing the directed versus undirected. In the right side, we are showing weighted versus unweighted. Left side, we have a graph A, B, C, D, E, F, G. All these are vertices. And we are not mentioning any directions from A to B, B to C, B to E. That is why it is known as undirected graph. Next here, A to B, B to C, C to D, D to G, G to E, E to F. We are mentioning the directions. A to F, we are mentioning the direction. B to A, we are mentioning the direction. B to C, we are mentioning the direction. C to D, we are mentioning the direction. That is why this graph is known as directed graph, because edges have directions. Here, undirected graph, where we don't have any directions between the edges. Come directed graph, we are mentioning the edges. We are mentioning the directions, means edges have directions. This is directed versus undirected. Next is weighted versus unweighted. In unweighted, we are not mentioning any cost or weight between the edges. See here, A to B, B to C, C to D, D to G, G to E, E to F. We are not mentioning any cost or weight. That is why it is known as unweighted graph. But coming to weighted graph, A to B, B to C, C to D, D to G, from E to G, F to E, we are mentioning some cost. We are mentioning that some weight. That is why it is known as weighted graph. Next, we have three types of graph representations. Graph data structure is represented using three representations. One is adjacency matrix, one is incidence matrix, and adjacency list. One by one, we'll see the representations, and the next topic we'll discuss about graph traversals method, that is DFS and BFS. See here. First one is adjacency matrix. In this representation, the graph is represented by using matrix of size total number of vertices by total number of vertices. Means that if we have 4 vertices, then the graph is represented by using a matrix of size 4 by 4. In this matrix, both rows and columns represent vertices. This matrix is filled with either 1 or 0. Here I'll take one graph and I'll convert into a matrix by representing it with 1 or 0. Here 1 represents that there is an edge from row vertex to column vertex, and 0 represents that there is no edge from row vertex to column vertex. I'll take you one example and I'll explain you. This is undirected graph representation. See, here this is a graph A, B, C, D, E. We are not mentioning any directions. That is why it is known as undirected graph. See here, A, B, C, D, and A, B, C, D, E are known as vertices. Now we'll represent this graph into adjacency representation, adjacency matrix representation. A to A, we don't have any edge from A to A. That is the reason we are mentioning it as 0. A to B, we have an edge between A to B. That is the reason here the matrix we are taking 1 as a representation. Next, A to C, we are not mentioning any direction. We have an edge between A and C. That is the reason the matrix we are taking 1. Next, A to D, we don't have any direction. We have an edge between A and D. So take 1. Next, A to E. We don't have any edge between A and E, as well as we are not mentioning any direction. We don't have any edge and we don't have any direction. That is the reason we are mentioning here 0. Next, B to A. We are having an edge B to A, but we are not mentioning any direction. That is the reason here B to A in matrix, we need to represent it with 1. B to B, we don't have any node or connection between B to B, the B to B vertex. That is the reason here we are taking it as 0 in our representation, in our matrix representation. Next, B to C, we don't have any edge or connection between the vertex B and C. And we don't have any connection as well as no direction. That is the reason we are taking the value as 0. Next, B to D. We have an edge between B to D, but we are not mentioning any direction. That is the reason we are taking 1 in our matrix representation. Next, B to E. Here, B to E, there is a connection between B and E. There is a node. There is an edge between B and E. That is the reason we are taking 1 in our representation. Next, C to A. Here we have an edge representation. We have a node representation. So the matrix representation is represented by 1. C to B, we don't have any edge. We don't have any connection. That is, we are taking as 0. Next, C to C, we don't have any link. We don't have any node. That is the reason we are taking 0. Next, C to D, we have a connection. We have a node representation. That is 1. Next, C to E, we don't have any node, any edge. So C to E will mark it as 0. Next, D to A, we have an edge between D and A vertex. That is why here we are taking it as 1. Next, D to B, 1. D to C, 1. D to D. Here it is a self loop. Means there is a connection between the D vertex. This is nothing but a self loop. That is why here we are taking as D to D as 1. Next, D to E, 1. E to A, we don't have any edge. That is the reason we are taking 0. E to B, we have an edge, 1. E to C, we don't have any edge. So 0. E to D, we have an edge, 1. E to E, we don't have any self loop. That is the reason we are taking 0. This is a matrix representation from an undirected graph to adjacency matrix. Next. Next, we'll see directed graph representation to adjacency list. Here we are mentioning the directions in our graph. A to B, there is a node. There is a connection between A to B in single direction. From A, we can traverse to B. So A to A, we cannot travel from A to A because we don't have any self loop. That is the reason here in our representation, we are taking the value as 0. A to B, it is in a single direction, A to B. It is showing to the direction B vertex. So 1, A to C, we have a connection between A and C, and it is directed towards the C vertex. That is the reason here we are taking it as 1. Next, A to D, we have a connection between A to D, but it is not mentioning the direction towards D. It is mentioning the direction towards A. That is the reason here we are taking it as 0. Next, A to E, we don't have any connection between any node between A and E. That is the reason here we are taking the matrix value as a 0. Next, B to A, we have an edge, but we don't have any direction to travel through A. That is, we are taking it as 0. Next, B to B, we don't have any self loop. So 0. B to C, we don't have any edge between B to C. So 0. B to D, we have an edge between B to D and it is showing towards the vertex D. That is why that is the reason here we are taking the value as 1. B to E, we have a node connecting to E and it is in the direction to the vertex E. That is E. So 1, B to E, the value is 1. Next, C to A. C to A, we have a connection. We have an edge between C to A, but it is not in the direction of A. It is in the direction of A. So 0. Next, C to B, we don't have any edge to C and B. So 0. C to C, we don't have any self loop. So 0. C to D, we have an edge and it is showing towards the D. So C to D as 1. Next, C to E, we don't have any edge. So 0. Next, D to A, we have an edge between D and A and we are showing it towards the A vertex. The direction is towards the vertex A. So the value will be 1. If the direction towards that particular vertex, then we need to take the value as 1. If we don't have any edge or we don't have any particular direction to that corresponding vertex, then we'll take the value as 0. Next, D to C, we have an edge, but the direction is not towards C. So it is 0. D to D, here we have self loop. So 1. Next, D to E, there is an node and there is an edge between D to E and it is showing towards E. So 1. Next, E to E, we don't have any self loop, so 0. E to B, we have an edge, but direction is towards E, not to B. So 0. D to C, E to C, sorry. There is no edge between E and C, so 0. E to D, we have an node, we have an edge, but that the direction is not towards D. From E, we cannot travel to D. From D, we can travel to E, but not vice versa. So it is 0. Next, E to E, we don't have any self loop. So we'll mark it as 0. First one, we have seen undirected graph to adjacency matrix representation. Second one is directed graph, where we are mentioning the directions and we are representing to adjacency matrix representation. Now, incidence matrix. Incidence matrix is represented by using the matrix of total number of vertices by total number of edges. Means if we have 4 vertices and 6 edges, that means a graph with 4 vertices and 6 edges is represented by matrix size 4 by 6. Here will represent the rows with vertices and columns with edges. And here the matrix is filled with 0, 1 or -1. Previously, we have filled with only 0 and 1. But coming to incidence matrix, we'll fill it with -1. 0 represents the row vertex is not connected to any column edge. Where 1 represents the vertex is connected to the outgoing edge. To column edge, -1 represents the row vertex is connected as the incoming edge. If there is no edge, we'll represent it as 0. If there is an outgoing edge from row to column, we'll represent it as 1. If there is an incoming edge, means we'll traverse from column to row, then we'll represent it as -1. Outgoing, row to column, incoming, row to column. Okay, 0 represents row vertex is not connected to any column. Now we'll see the example. Directed graph. This is a directed graph, and here we are representing with the vertices. Okay, A, B, C, D, E are vertices, and E1, E2, E3, E4. Okay, A to E1. A to E1, we are taking it as 1 because that is outgoing. Incoming. Sorry. 1 represents that row vertex is connected as the outgoing edge to column edge. Here, 1 represents row vertex is outgoing to column. Here, next, A to E2. A to E2, row vertex to column. So, 1. Next, A to E3, row vertex is not going to column. It is vice versa. That's why -1. Next, A to E4. We don't have any row to column. That's why it is 0. Next, A to E5. We are not going through row and column edge. So 0. A to E6, 0. A to E7, 0. A to E8, 0. Next, B to E1. B to E1, this is an outgoing edge. This is not an incoming edge. So it is -1. B to E2, there is no row vertex to column vertex. Row to column, so 0. Next, B to E3, 0. Next, B to E4. Row to column. So it is 1. Next, B to E5. We are not going to row to column, 0. Next, E6. B to E6. From row, we are going to column. So 1. Next, B to E7, 0. B to E8, 0. Next, C to E1, 0. C to E2, we have an outgoing. So it is -1. C to E3, 0. C to E4, 0. C to E5. Outgoing edges. So 1. Next C2 E6 0, E7 0, E8 0. Next D2 E1 0, D2 E2 0, D2 E3. E3. It is an outgoing edge. So 1, D2 E4. It is an incoming edge to D. So -1. D2 E5. Incoming edge. So -1. E6 0. E7. D2 E7, it is outgoing row to column. So 1. D2 E8. Here we have self loop. So 1. E2 E1 is 0. E2 E2 is 0. E2 E3 is 0. E2 E4 is 0. E2 E5 is 0. E2 E6. It is incoming to E. So it is -1. Next E2 E7. Row vertex is incoming to column vertex. So E7, it is incoming. Next E2 E8. We don't have any self loop. That is why we are taking the representation as 0. Incidence matrix, directed graph, undirected graph, and incidence matrix. That is adjacency representation, and here incidence representation. This is adjacency list. Next, first in graph representation, we'll have adjacency matrix we have discussed, and incidence matrix we have discussed. Now, adjacency list. Next, here in this representation, every vertex of a graph contains list of its adjacent vertices. Here we are representing the graph with a list in the list form. So A to B, we have a connection to A to B. So we are representing in the form of a list. Next, A to C, we have a connection. So A to B, B to C. Next, take the vertex B. We have the connection to B to D. Next, D to E. So we are representing B to D and D to E. Next, C. We have an edge between C to D. C, we don't have any vertex connecting to C. Next, D. D to A, we have an edge. D to E, we have an edge. So we'll represent it with D to A and A to D as well as D to E. Next, E. We don't have any vertex which is going through E. This is the representation of a graph in the adjacency list representation. This is a list representation and this is an arrow representation. A, we have the vertices B and C, and next vertex is B. We have vertices to D and we are having a vertex to E. Next is C, C to D, and we are not traveling any of the vertex through C. We are traveling only to D. So C to D. Next D, D to A, D to E, D to C. We have self loop. So D. This is the adjacency presentation. Next E, we don't have any self loop and we are not traveling through this vertex. We don't have any connection, any direction to this vertex from E. We are not traveling to B, D, A, C. Okay. Next, graph traversals. Graph traversal is a technique used for searching a vertex in a graph. The graph traversal is also used to decide the order of vertices is visited in the search process. We have two different types of graph traversal techniques. First one is DFS and next one is BFS. This means we need to visit all the vertices of the vertex without getting into the loops. We need to visit the vertex at least once. We have two different types of graph traversal techniques. First one is DFS and the second one is BFS. We'll discuss DFS, depth first search. DFS. DFS traversal of a graph produces a spanning tree as a final result. Depth first search. Here we need to visit every vertex and the output will be a spanning tree as a final result. And that spanning tree is a graph without loops. Spanning tree is a graph without loops. Here we use the stacked data structure with maximum size of total number of vertices in the graph to implement DFS traversal. In DFS traversal, we use the stack data structure. We'll discuss DFS by using a simple example. See, we use the following steps to implement the traversal. Step 1. First, we need to define the stack of size total number of vertices. Next, step 2. We need to select any vertex as a starting point for traversal and visit that vertex and push that vertex into the stack. Next, step 3. Visit any one of the non-visited adjacent vertices of that particular vertex, which is at the top of the stack, and you need to push that vertex into the stack. Next, step 4. You need to repeat all the 3 steps, and if there is no new vertex to be visited from that particular vertex, which is at the top of the stack, then you need to do the backtracking and then you need to pop that vertex from the stack. Next, what is step 6? You need to repeat 3, 4, and 5 until the stack becomes empty. If there is a vertex which is not visited, you need to push it into the stack. If the stack of all the vertices are visited, you need to do the backtracking and you need to pop out from the stack. When the stack becomes empty, then you produce final spanning tree by removing all the unused edges from the graph. Backtracking is nothing but coming back to the vertex from which we reached the current vertex. Now we'll see the graph DFS by using a simple example. Consider this example, graph example. Here we'll perform DFS traversal. A, B, C, D, E, F, G are the vertices in our graph. Okay. First, step 1, select the vertex A as a starting point. Here in our graph, we are selecting any vertex. Here I am selecting A as my vertex starting point. So now that A vertex I need to push into the stack. Next, step 2, visit the adjacent vertices of A, which are not visited at least once. Here the adjacent vertices of A are D, comma B. So in my example, I am taking B as the adjacent vertices of A. So here I'm considering E as a vertex. So you need to push that visited vertex into the stack. So the adjacent vertices of A are D and B, and I'm taking B as a vertex. I'm visiting B, and that vertex I'm pushing into the stack. Next step, visit any adjacent vertex of B, which is not visited. Vertices of B are what? A and C and E, but which are not visited. We need to visit the vertices which are not visited. E and C are the vertices which we did not visit earlier. Here I am taking C. Then I need to push that C vertex into the stack. Next, visit any adjacent vertices of C which is not visited. Next, the adjacent vertices of C are G, E, F, which are not visited earlier. I'm taking E in my example, and that E vertex is pushed into the stack. Next, visit the adjacent vertices of E, which are not visited. What are the adjacent vertices of E? Here we can see B, D, F, and C. Here I'm taking D. That D vertex you need to push into the stack. Next, step 6. D. Adjacent vertices of D are A, E. Already we have visited the adjacent vertices of A and E. We don't have any other vertices which we did not visit earlier. So here in this case, we need to do the backtracking, means we need to go to the previous vertex. We need to backtrack. So we need to backtrack to E. Then now, what are the adjacent vertices of E here, which are not visited? F. So push F into the stack. Next, visit the adjacent vertices of A, which we did not visited earlier. Here, the adjacent vertices of F are C and G. C we have visited earlier, but we did not visit the vertex G. So push the G vertex into the stack. Now, there is no new vertex to be visited from G. So use backtracking. Pop from G from the stack. pop from G. Remove it from the stack, pop it from the stack. G vertex, pop it from the stack. There is no new vertex to be visited from F. So pop it from the stack. F vertex, you need to pop it from the stack. Next, after F, there is a no new vertex which can be visited. So you need to pop it. Next, pop it E from the stack. Next, there is no new vertex which to be visited. So the already visited vertices are B. So pop it from the stack. C, sorry. C, you need to pop it from the stack. Next, there is no new vertex to be visited from C. So use backtracking and we will pop C from the stack. Next, there is no new vertex to be visited from B. So we use backtracking. Then we'll pop B from the stack. Next step, there is no new vertex to be visited from A. So we use backtracking. Pop A from the stack. Now the stack is empty. Here we'll stop traversal. So DFS traversal will stop DFS traversal. Final result of DFS traversal is the following spanning tree: A, B, C, D, E, F, G, where we don't have any loops. So these are the advantages of DFS and these are disadvantages of DFS. It consumes less memory and it finds the largest distance element in the less time. Then the disadvantages of DFSR may not find the optimal solution to the problem and may get trapped in searching useless path.